And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
So fantastic series. I've seen 3 episodes so far, and I can't wait to see the rest of the season. I'm just going to start off, Anson, with you. The big mystery of the season is who killed Tommy Stevenson. And I've got a lot of theories on what that could be, but they seem kind of like an unlikely duo. And is it as simple as what we assume it is, with that Eddie had a hand in Tommy's death, or were you surprised by how the mystery played out?
Well, listen, one of the things I love most about this show is all the twists and turns, so I wouldn't want to preempt any of this for your viewers. But what I would say is that you meet this family, the Harrigans, at the start of this show, and there's kind of a battle bubbling underneath the surface within the family itself of who's going to one day succeed to the throne that's currently occupied by Pierce's character, Conrad. And then there's also, more on the surface level, the war that's about to rage between the Harrigans and their rival gang, the Stevensons. And me and Helen Mirren's character, Maeve, my grandma, we have a lot of fun in the show, concocting up a lot of trouble. And yeah, you're just going to have to see how that plays out.
Okay, well, speaking about Maeve, Dame Helen Mirren is fantastic in this. I think she's got a bit of a Lady Macbeth inside of her. Pierce, I'm curious about Conrad's relationship with Maeve and how much control she has over this family, because she seems like quite a strong influence. And how much puppeteering does she have a hand in when it comes to Conrad's decisions?
Oh, Conrad knows that he's been manipulated by her, and he likes to be manipulated by her. She's a very wise woman. They've been together since they were 16. You know, that's when she got pregnant with one of the boys. He can't remember because he's been out and about with so many other women. He's a bold man. He's pretty, his morals are very thin, really, but he's cunning. And but he loves Maeve, and she loves him. They're joined at the hip.
That's interesting that you say that, because I think that something that really shakes Conrad that we see early on is the fact that he kills Archie, who's like one of his oldest friends. And I think he's quite like taken aback that he has to do that. Do you think he's fully considered the options at that point, or is it an impulsive decision based on what Maeve is telling him?
It's pure animal. Conrad is, he's a beast. He's unhinged in some regards. He comes from an abusive background, and the abuse that takes place within the family, especially with Kevin, and that I was so wrapped up in my own self-centered world, didn't have the coping skills to deal with the son who was damaged, to deal with the fractures in the family. So he relies on Maeve.
Maybe too much, I would say.
Probably too much, yes. Probably too much. There's always that, as the ground begins to break beneath the structure, he is aware that, as I say, he can't trust anyone, and he can't really trust Maeve, but yet he loves her. So they're tangled in a dark web.
Indeed, they are. And speaking of that tangling in a dark web, I mean, Anson, you just mentioned that Eddie's relationship with his grandmother, I would say, is maybe a little bit too close, in my opinion.
Slightly unconventional relationship between grandmother and grandson, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if my grandma handed me like a bag of Coke, I think it would definitely alter my relationship with her. Should Eddie trust his grandmother, or do you think he's being led down the wrong path with her?
Well, I've got to be honest with you. I still have not made up my mind about that either. So listen, here's hoping we do a series 2 and we can all find out, because I'm not too sure yet. You can never trust anyone in this family. They all love each other very much, and yet at the same time, any which one of them could stab the other in the back. So we'll have to find out. And I'll be finding out with you all together.
That's kind of worrying to me, especially for Eddie.
That's the Harrigans.
Do you think there's somebody that if he had to say off the top of his head, like who he trusts the most, or who he would go to, I guess, in the case of emergency, who would it be? Well,
it's absolutely her, which is why you asked about what happens with Tommy Stevenson. And as you see throughout the show and all of the various missions that Maeve and Eddie go on together, all he really has to rely on is her, because she consistently tells him that she believes in him. And that means so much in this family, because there's a lot of people competing to get to that throne. You've got Serafina, you have Kevin, you have Harry, who isn't even really a Harrigan, but he kind of is, very much involved in the inner family circle. And Maeve is constantly by Eddie's side, making him privy to all the things she's getting up to and stuff like that. And also he has a difficult relationship with his dad and his mum, and she's always there for him. So let's hope she has good intentions.
I don't have that same hope as you do, but I'm glad that you're optimistic. And then just touching on Serafina, who I think is a strong point of contention between Conrad and Maeve. She's an illegitimate child. I'm also curious if he has any other illegitimate children, because I cannot imagine there's just one out there. Can you talk about that close relationship that Conrad has with his daughter and the sort of balance that he has to strike between his wife and his child?
Oh, it's a constant struggle. It's spinning plates. But, Conrad doesn't care. He really doesn't care too much about Maeve. She can prattle on as much as she likes, but he loves Serafina. He adores the woman, adores his daughter. It remains to be seen, maybe that mother will come out of the woodwork at some point as well. There's so many storylines. And I remember Tom was on the set one day and he was reading out the synopsis for the next episodes. I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to hear. I just want to go into the ether of it all and find myself, sensing intuition on the day for the episode.
I mean, I think their relationship is definitely, it's like one of the more wholesome relationships in the family, and I think it's kind of sweet. But unfortunately, that's all the time I have with you, and I can't wait to see more of these episodes. It sounds like it's going to be a wild ride. I want to thank you guys for speaking with me, and thanks. I mean, Pierce, I have to say that I grew up watching James Bond with my family. It was like one of the first movies I ever saw, so It's a real honor to speak with you.
Thank you. Be well. Take care. These lights are bright.
Lovely to meet you.
Eyes are tired.